Very good morning to you. First of all,
Morning.
the news about Alan McGregor retiring, was that a surprise to you? How has that affected your makeup with the squad?
Yeah, it's obviously a blow for us. Alan been in great form this season for club and country, but I kind of knew this day would come. Having kept in touch with Alan over a year now, and since he come back into the fold, then I knew that in Hull he had some ailments and some problems, and you always wondered, when the day would come that we might lose him. And it was amicable. He knows his body now. He obviously wants to play as much club football as he can and try and keep himself right for that. But he's suffering in certain parts of his body at this stage of his life.
Was there any attempt to try and persuade him to?
Yeah, of course there was. We try and manage it. Can you play? Can you play one game? Can we do something to help you? We wanted to help him, and I gave him a couple of days to think about it, and he's come back with the same answer. So sadly, we lose him. We launched his career a few years ago in the national team, Rangers as well, and now it's time for another goalkeeper to get launched.
Well, with Craig Gordon injured and not in the squad, David Marshall's not in the squad, the three you've picked have got 3 caps between them. Is it totally up for grabs, or how do you look at the 3 that you've picked? Well,
I'll decide that later in the week, obviously, when we get the boys together next week, and then see how the games go over these next 10 days or so.
The fact that there is a lack of experience there, is that a concern for you with these being competitive matches?
Yeah, but people have to start somewhere. It's not that right at the moment I'm feeling concerned about it. The way I see it, it's an opportunity for one of the goalkeepers to go and excel and show that they can become an international goalkeeper on a regular basis, the way that McGregor has done and Craig Gordon has done in the past.
With regard to Alan, you said you always knew the day would come. When did he tell you that he wanted to retire? And the timing, I guess people are looking at a couple of days before.
Well, he's obviously thought long and hard about it, and the timing, I think, is probably crucial, and he's maybe felt that before the tournament starts he wanted to make the decision rather than stop in the middle of the tournament. So he's thought it out. But the guy to speak to you about that side of it would be Alan McGregor.
Well, when did you first become aware that he was going to call it quits?
A couple of days ago, just as we were kind of formulating the squad, and I actually had a gift for him from a friend, and I'd texted him, and so I unwittingly started the conversation, and he said, "Oh, can I speak to you before you announce the squad?" So that's I'm giving you a wee bit of private conversation we had, and that's the only thing I can say on it.
The reason I was asking that was in fairness to yourself, because last week you were saying it says jersey to lose, so obviously the news came as a bit of a surprise to you.
Yes, of course, but we, as I said, couldn't preclude in the earlier moments of my Scotland tenure here again, is that Alan could have bowed out at any time, and he's gave us everything. He was fantastic in the qualifiers for the Nations League. He made fantastic save, as you know, in the last game against Israel. Just pure experience, and you want the young guys who are now going to take over to make that inspirational for them.
Just finally on the McGregor situation, would you rather he'd come to you rather than you finding out inadvertently via text?
Would I rather he came to me? He did. He would have had to come to me anyway. If I hadn't opened the conversation, then I'm sure he would have been, because how else would he have been able to announce it?
Alan, should Scotland qualify, would the door be open for Alan to come in? To come back?
Well, you know, he's at a stage in his career where he is 37. I know that I finished at 35. I know how your legs go, some parts of your body go at that particular age. Yeah, we've got Buffon who's 40, but even Buffon was possibly not at his best against Man United last week. So it happens to us all at some stage. The old age creeps in, and goalkeepers do fortunately last a little bit longer than outfield players. But Alan's been through the wars a wee bit over the last couple of years. You know, I think he's suffered back injuries, knee injuries, and to come back from that and play at the level he's been playing it over the last year is a great feat and a tribute to him. And we wish him well.
You've got 3 goalkeepers in. Were there others in contention?
Yeah, well, we've looked at every goalkeeper. I've got a fantastic goalkeeping coach, you know, who I lean on pretty heavily. And his knowledge of all the Scottish goalkeepers is excellent. So, you know, I rely on Stevie Woods. If people are unaware of the name, Stevie Woods has been a great coach to work beside, as has Peter Grant and James McFadden.
And would Scott Bain have an advantage there in that he's working day in, day out?
Well, yeah, I know that you're trying to get me a name who's going to be in goals, but we'll just wait and see and hope that those guys come through their games that are coming up before the national squad gets together next Sunday.
Another number of other players in the squad have been injured. I think Charlie Mulgrew picked up an injury at the weekend. Yeah. There's also been, I think Callum Patterson's had 1 or 2 issues. Kieran Tierney, do you have any issues with Kieran playing in the plastic out there? Or has any players come to you and said, you know, clubs actually said would rather he didn't play them than the plastic out there?
Yeah, and 2 players won't play. And that'll be Callum Patterson and Ryan Fraser. And this is, you know, ongoing agreements with the club and country, and they are not going to play in the AstroTurf.
Are you quite confident that Charlie McGregor will be there?
Yeah, we've got a good feeling about Charlie. Charlie has always, you know, puts himself on the line, and he is very confident that he's going to be okay.
Will Callum and Ryan travel with you out there?
No.
They're not going to play? No.
No.
So they'll meet up?
They'll meet up in San Marino, and
if Ryan's
Rimini.
not available, then you've only got 1 player who's scored goals in your attacking department. He's a wide man as well. This is becoming quite a serious problem, does it not look like?
Yeah, it's not ideal, Roddy. Absolutely not. You know, I'd rather the guys were available for us. There's no doubt with every player of quality that you lose from those 2 results that we got in November, then obviously the quality diminishes a little bit. But we've got every faith in the backup squad that we have and the players that can come in their place. Don't get me wrong, you know, I can't just make it magic like that. You know, if Ryan goes in, 5 or 6 of the players go missing from those 2 games. But we feel that we have the cover available for these games.
Does that mean altering formation or system?
Could do, could be.
Alan, can I ask about a couple of the new inclusions in the squad? Mark McNulty is maybe many people didn't expect to be in there. What was it about him that you felt he was deserving to follow?
Well, he scored 5 goals in 6 games, 6 Hibs appearances, and you know we were short in that department. Obviously, there's an injury to Stephen Fletcher, who led the line superbly in these last 2 games, and he has been putting himself out there for Sheffield Wednesday every week. He come back from an 8-month, I think, absence with a knee injury, and he's feeling things a little bit, and he's obviously gone through this spell of playing nearly every game for Steve. The previous manager didn't play him in every game. I think he managed his time a little bit differently, but Steve Bruce obviously feels that he's very, very important to the Sheffield Wednesday plans, and as he was to us. But you know, that's fate, it sometimes happens, and we have to try and cover that with as good a player as we believe can do that. McNulty's a good hold-up player. He's different from McBurney, and Ollie Burke. So it's gave us a little bit of versatility.
Is Mark something that's been on your radar for a while?
Yeah, he has actually. When he played for Coventry, he was banging them in. I know it's a lower division, so it's a lower level. Can he do it higher up? I was going to make a point of going and watching him at Reading. It's two or three times, but he didn't feature very much under the coach. And now he's moved on to Hibs. He's getting confidence playing for Hibs, and he's having some good performances. He had a good game in the draw with Rangers, and he led the line well. So our scouts have flagged him up, for the last couple of months, and in terms of his appearances, and the reports have been pretty favourable, and we felt he was the right man to call in.
Been up for sort of grabs as well in the past few squads. Liam Palmer's in there this time. What was it about him that you thought he was deserving as well?
Well, Liam Palmer was he's been in the system before with the young ones, and I've got to be honest, in recent times he wasn't flagged up, but all of a sudden, we recognised that Liam was playing extremely well for Wednesday. He was a midfielder, and he's been converted to a full-back. There was a wee little bit of that, to discuss, and the fact that he's been playing left-back, right-back, midfield sometimes. Then again, it's a player of versatility, but good reports on him. James McFadden went down to see him a couple of weeks ago, along with Fletcher, Barry Bannon, and James was really impressed by him, without me saying specifically go and check on Liam.
Ollie Burke obviously played wide and in the middle. Where ideally do you see him fitting in if you had all of your squad available, and that going to be dictated to by who is available for the first?
Yeah, it's. You have to wait and see. We know that Ollie can play in different positions. Where his best position is, over the last 2 or 3 years, people have felt it's a wider one. Brendan adjusted him to centre forward, and he's actually been pretty decent in there. So there's definitely scope for Ollie in terms of maybe a certain system, or possibly in a wide area, and maybe even in a counter-attack system.
You mentioned Paris Saint-Germain there. How impressed were you with McTominay's performance that night?
Yeah, he's been fantastic for him, and I actually texted him a few weeks ago when he got his first game, I think, for United in a long time, because I had a chat with his agent, said that you've got to get him out playing. It's the best way to learn, is to play football every single week, rather than just cones and bibs all the time and passing functions. Playing the game is ideal for any player to learn. And then he got back in, and he played a great game for Ollie, the gaffer, and he ended up staying in that team. I thought, I wonder if he'll go in and then he'll maybe get pulled out again. But he was exceptional in the games, against Liverpool, European game, and he got a wee rest the other day there, and unfortunately they lost. So his star will be rising, and we're delighted with the experience that he's gained, and especially in that PSG game where he did a number on Verratti. He annoyed the wee guy the whole night. That's a superb world-class player, and that's got to be good for Scotland.
Alec, go back to Ollie Burke. Is he a different type of player now from when he was first introduced to the squad a few years ago, in the sense that he's a more mature player now?
Yeah, you would believe that players improve with experience. So he's had a few experiences: Germany, West Brom, the English Premier, and also coming to Celtic, to a team who's expected to win every single week. And he knows now, you know, to come to a club who is that kind of club, that mentality of club, and he's slotted in quite well. I know he's been in and out a wee bit. He's played wide, he's played through the middle, he's scored some goals, he's used the pace, and if we can harness all that, and then we have a player in there.
And finally, from me, you've got two fantastic fullbacks in Robertson and Tierney. You'll have that headache again, I'm sure. Who plays left back, and where do you put the other one?
I'm telling you.
But you have a headache, don't you? Or do you?
It's already sore. No, listen. You know, we just have to cross that bridge when we come to it. But we know that I know that Tierney has played in the right full back position before to aplomb and good success in it with Gordon Strachan, and so it's not something that we will ignore, because if he's capable of putting those kind of performances in, then we have to consider it. If he's the best man for that job, then you know we have to look at it.
Nice headache to have.
Yeah, well we have good fullbacks. Stephen O'Donnell has made the breakthrough. We've got Liam Palmer in there, and yeah, Tierney, you'd be moving a left footer across to the right side. People, you know, might question that, but if he's the best for that position, then you know we'll do it.
Going back to the keeper situation, any moves been made to see if Angus Gunn would represent Scotland ahead of?
I've been in constant dialogue with Big Brian Gunn over a year. You know, one of the Gothenburg guys. We've got a Gothenburg group, and the other players tease him about it, and then I've got to send a private one to him saying, you know, does Angus want to play for Scotland? But you know, I don't really want to talk about guys who are not available to us at the moment, and get right behind the three goalkeepers we have, who are all terrific goalies. There would be no guarantee that Angus would walk into the #1 slot. You know, he's still going through a maturity process also. You know, being at Norwich on loan, and he's parent club Man City, and then getting that fantastic move. And now that must have empowered him. You would think that he can now rise to a different level. But our three goalies have been playing regularly and playing to a very good level, good standard. So we're delighted with them.
Yeah, any assurances about Callum McGregor's fitness?
Yeah, Neil Lennon was pretty positive about it. I spoke to Neil last week, and he said, you know, I think Callum will be okay. Again, we have to manage things, you know, between the two games, and we will have a really good look at the players, a big assessment on them, and the week building up to the game.